Hi everybody, this is Cindy from Ideas Times 2. Welcome back to our channel. Today I have a tutorial for a fun and pretty easy no-sew binding called a piano hinge, and I think it's a lot of fun. It's different maybe from other kinds of bindings that you've seen, and you maybe even have everything in the house to do one. So join me today as I show you how to make this fun, very fun little project. And one thing that makes it so fun is that you can make this any size and as big or as small as you want, as many pages really as you want, and it's a lot of fun. So what you need is cardstock, probably two-sided would be best, just because it will make your book more interesting. You'll need some glue, scissors, scoreboard, your basic tools, right? And so the book that I'm going to be making is going to be, including the spine, 6 inches wide and 7 inches tall. And I'm using this paper, this gorgeous paper from Stamperia, and my theme is books. And I just need to make one cut because the book is 12 inches wide, or the paper is 12 inches wide. The book is going to be 6 inches wide, so I just need this to be 7 inches tall. You could save paper or use 2 pieces from the same paper if you went 6 by 6. I just wanted something a little taller. I didn't want a square journal, and so I'm not wasting anything because I can use all of these scraps for other projects and pockets and all sorts of stuff. So I'm just going to set that off to the side and grab my scoreboard. And I'm going to score my paper at 6 inches, so just in half, and again on the 6.5, and on the 5 3/4. And I'm going to do the same thing for each page. Each page of the journal is going to be the same size, double-sided cardstock. You could use regular paper, specialty papers, but I think cardstock works really well for this project, so that's my recommendation. I'm going to go ahead and fold each of my score marks. Paper is gorgeous. Okay, and so this is what we have, and I'm going to fold it in half on the middle score. And what you're going to need to do is grab a ruler. If you're not into measuring, this is not something you can really eyeball, but I'm going to mark at each inch, and then again on the so let me remark that. I'm not putting my lines very dark So then I'm going to, and so I'm using my score mark, this at the 1/2 inch mark here, kind of as my guide. That's where I'm putting the end of the line. And then I'm going up to the top and I'm going to mark 1/4 inch on each side of my line. On each of the inches. This is really hard. I've got some really bad glare. Really hard to see on some of these. So what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do here, is make these triangles. What I did to make it easier is I made myself a template, and you can see I just marked, this is a 1/2 inch here, and I have a line going across, and then have marked each of my inches, and I made this for 10 inches so that I have some, you know, even though this book is only 7, but when you're doing a lot of pages, this is faster, so I just made myself a template. I looked on Amazon to see if I could find a template, and I couldn't. So I just made one using a piece of leftover file folder. So, and I'm sure you can't see those lines, but so I've just penciled in, and then I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm going to cut triangles out. I think it's, you know, whatever we can do to make things a little easier on ourselves. So I've made a lot of templates of, you know, different hole placements for sewing in signatures and whatnot. So what you're going to have is something that looks like this. I'm going to erase some of these little extra lines. And you need to do this for all of the pages you want inside. So basically this is a signature. Each signature then will just be 4 pages, and you'll have these different notches here. So I've already made different the different signatures here, and they all have kind of a book theme. So this is what you want to do, and decide what you want to do for your cover, and I'll show the covers, how to do your cover in just a second. So now how do we bind these? You're going to need something like this. This is just a bamboo skewer, and they come in all different lengths and sizes. So this is an 8 inch, and I also have some 11 inch, and these are cheap. Like this bag was less than $2 at, I think it was Walmart. I got the 8 inch ones at Amazon, and I know they come in shorter because I just had beef on a stick from the Chinese restaurant down the street for lunch today, and they were on 6 inch skewers. So you do not need to use skewers. You could use pencils or chopsticks, or even straight twigs, like willow twigs, I think would be really pretty. Go for a more organic look. But something with a little bit of a sharpened end is helpful, because we're going to now put all these pieces of paper together. So grab 2 of your signatures, and I find it helpful to push the tabs down that I'm not going to be using. And let's see, make sure I've got this going up. So this is going to be my top page. So I'm going to actually do this the other way. Push these down. Push the ones in the middle. See if they stay. There we go. Every other one, and then I'm going to just take this end and poke it through here, and then kind of weave it through to the other side. So I've got the solid here and the patterned here, and then I'm going to bring it through back to the solid, to the pattern one behind it, and back to the solid. So you can see I went through every other one, and there's the other side. So now I'm ready to put in my next page. I'm just going to grab one with the books on it, another skewer, and then do the same thing. So these I'm going to leave because I'll attach these to my cover. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, now we're going to just keep doing the same thing and just go through every other tab, front to back, weaving them together. And this weaving is why having a pointed end is actually helpful, because it makes, there we go, going in to those, you know, almost a loop, I don't know what you would call it, but those tabs makes it a little easier. So there I've got 3 signatures together, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do that off camera so that you don't have to watch me skewer all these pages. But I'll be right back in just a minute with all the signatures, and then I'll show you how to do the cover. All right, so here we go. This is what, 8 signatures? 8 signatures, and each signature is just, you know, the one sheet of paper, 4 pages, and you know, you could make this smaller, literally any size. You want more pages, add some more pages. You want fewer pages, if you, whatever, it could be whatever height you can find of skewer or twig or whatever you're going to use. One thing I did forget to mention, I put notches just because I like the way the notches look. If you don't need to have notches. If you don't want to mess with the measuring and that, like I did, that's not a problem. You can cut straight lines. The only thing is you have to make sure your lines are perfect on each page, and then you won't see the skewer or the twig or the pencil or whatever in between the signatures or in between these notches. And that's okay. That's what, you know, whatever you want, whatever is the style you prefer. One reason I like the notches is I like being able to see, kind of having an open spine, right? I like that open look. That also gives you some creative freedom if you want to, like there's a lot of blue, and it's kind of the predominant color in in this book. I could use blue paint or blue ink. I've got a beautiful navy blue ink. I could stain this, and then you would see that blue line between each of those notches. But certainly, if you don't want to, to fuss with the cutting the notches, you don't have to. The length of these notches, you can see it does have that the point at the end. As a rule, people who do this kind of hinge, the piano hinge, generally leave those, and I've seen some with very long pieces of the skewer sticking out at the end. If you don't like that look, that's not a problem. These are really easy to cut. You can use like, obviously a saw, or a serrated kitchen knife works really well. Wire cutters work really great. But I'm going to leave mine. I like that little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom. So now it's time for the cover. And for the covers, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock that are the same height as the rest of your book. They're not any bigger or smaller. And what you're going to do is make sure I keep eyeballing the other one to make sure I'm pushing the right ones down. You're going to push down 3 of the tabs there. And then fold it. You can see then it will fit together here and will weave through there. But you're going to glue the cover shut. And so I'm going to take just a little dab of glue on the 3 internal hinges, and then a bead of glue, kind of following that that line underneath. You do not want to put glue on the other hinges. You want to make sure you leave those open. And then whatever glue or double-sided tape that you prefer. I'm using Beacon Fabri-Tac, which is my personal favorite. And glue them together. Make sure your edges are lined up. And I've been doing, like on the ephemera and stuff that's going inside, I've already made a bunch, and I'm going to, and I've already sewn all of those, and so I want to make sure that I'm consistent with my style. I need to grab 2 more skewers. And I think I'm going to use this on the front cover because I'm going to do some layering on it. So I'm going to put this in the back. Actually, I made a mistake. I didn't on the front. I was using the front, but I did make a mistake on the back. So I'm going to use this on the front and redo the back. So I'm going to take my skewer and just go through each of the tabs. There we go. And I did make a mistake on the back. And Fabri-Tac dries fast enough. I don't know if I can salvage this piece. I need to I need to do the other tabs. Okay. And if this turns into too much of a mess, I will just make another one. It's not a big deal. Nothing ever goes to waste around here. But I am going to put just a little bit of glue on those, re-glue everything else. So let this be a lesson of what not to do. Make sure that that you're paying attention to both your front and your backs. Because now everything wants to kind of revert back to the way it was. There we go. That's better, because now it'll actually fit. And I'm going to do a quick sew around the edges like I did on my front cover, just to be consistent with what I've done on the inside for ephemera. And so I'm going to turn my camera off again. I'll be right back. All right, so I sewed around the edges, and then it's time to add this last back cover. I'm going to go through the top of the previous page and through, whoops. And I didn't even have to waste that paper, so I'm really thankful for that. It's really tight though. Okay. There we go. So there's our journal, and you could leave it here, but I'm not going to. I have some wax coated thread here, and what I'm going to do to kind of hold the skewers in place, I mean you can see they're not coming out. There's no way they're gonna come out, but they could be pulled out. But I'm going to take a length of blue. I'm using blue and red. And what I'm going to do is on both the top and the bottom, I'm going to see if I can do this and keep it on the camera here. I'm just going to weave the thread through the skewers, kind of making these loops. I don't know if you can see that. It's hard for me to see and hold it at this angle. When you get to the end, just loop it around and then go under, whoops. Loop it around. They're pretty tight in there. and then over. There we go. And just keep going back and forth. And you can decide how many times you want to do that. I'm going to do just a back and forth once on the top. Whoops. In each color. Just kind of weaving a little bit of maybe stability on there. Just like that, and then I'm going to push them down. So they're pretty tight on there, and I'm going to tie it off. And then do the same thing on the bottom. So you can see, hopefully, up on the top there's just that blue going across. I'm going to add a red, and I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. And you see I've left a pretty long tail on here. I want to add some embellishments, some dangles of some kind, and so I'm leaving this on here so I can add some embellishments. So I'll be right back after I kind of finish off adding the thread on there. I don't think anybody wants to watch me fumble around with that, but I'll be right back. All right, I'm back for just this last couple of minutes to show you how I finished it. And so here on the top I have both blue and red waxed thread, kind of just to give it a little extra bling. I am going to add some kind of a dangle, but I haven't decided what yet. Down on the bottom I have just blue, and that's a couple rows of blue. And I may decide to add more red, but I don't think so because of the length of my skewers. I think if I put a couple rows of red on there, they're just going to pop off because it tapers. So that's what I have on my spine. And you can see right now it doesn't have anything in it, but there's a lot of room to expand. So on my front cover, I just added a pocket with a couple of just little doodads, and the pocket has a card in it. I just made this out of scraps from the pages I used in the journal. And then on the inside, I've got lots of room now to start adding things. And so I put a belly band here and a pocket here, and I've got a few things made that can go in the pockets. Oops. But as I fill it up, the book should be full enough that it doesn't fall flat like that. I mean, ugh. You see, you can see the page that I have stuff in there. It's already filling it up. So this is a really easy and fun way of binding, and it doesn't cost much, nothing special. You don't need to know how to sew or have a sewing machine. So I think it's a lot of fun, and I hope you give this a try. If you do, take some pictures and post them on our Facebook page. We'd love to see what you're making. And thank you so much for joining me today, and have a fantastic week, everybody. Bye-bye.